While out hunting, the man took aim at a young deer, never realizing that pulling the trigger would unleash disaster. The moment he fired, both he and his companion were stunned. When Alan rushed over to check, he froze in shock. Lying on the ground was not a deer, but a young boy who had been shot. Alan knelt down slowly, unable to believe what he was seeing. The boy had been hit in the head and was already dead. As Alan stood there in panic, unsure what to do, the boy's father suddenly appeared. Alan tried desperately to explain that it was an accident, but the grieving father grabbed a nearby rifle and aimed it straight at him. Before he could pull the trigger, a shot rang out. The man collapsed. The shooter wasn't Alan, but his hunting partner, Mike. It turned out that Mike had noticed the boy's father approaching while trailing behind Alan. He had hidden himself, and when he saw the father aim his gun at Alan, he fired first, killing him. Now implicated in 2 deaths, the men knew they had to cover their tracks. They drove into a nearby town, checked into a motel, and casually mentioned to others that they'd been out hunting all day and needed a night's rest. But once inside the room, Mike pointed out that their story didn't quite add up. No real hunter would head straight to bed after a long day in the woods. To sell their alibi, they forced themselves back out, heading to a local diner. There, they struck up conversations, pretending to be exhausted hunters, and casually dropped hints about their day in the forest. When night fell, they returned to the woods. Alan dug a hole for the body, while Mike worried about something else: the bullets. If investigators found them, everything would unravel. After searching, Mike managed to recover 1 slug lodged in a tree, but the second was nowhere to be found, until he looked at the boy's lifeless head and realized it was still inside. Reluctantly, he cut the bullet out. Then the 2 men buried the body and hurried back to the motel. Mike insisted they leave first thing in the morning, but the next day brought a terrifying surprise. As they looked out the window, they saw plainclothes officers rifling through their car. The sight made Mike's stomach drop. He knew instantly they were in serious trouble.